Soccer Talk with the Soul is presented by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. I'm Adam Diehl, and I'm joined by President of the Albuquerque Sol, Ron Patel, General Manager of the Albuquerque Sol, Larry Espinoza. Fellas, welcome in. We're back. Another show. We haven't been canceled yet, which is nice, right?
That's good. That is a good thing. It's got to be back. I've been gone for a few weeks.
We've got a lot to go over.
We do.
Mike Edwards is here. Josh Groves is here. We're going to talk with them. We're going to talk a lot of international soccer. There's been a ton of stuff going on. Of course, the European Championships, and of course, Copa America, Lionel Messi, all of it. My most favorite thing that we're going to talk about is England. That'll come here in just a little bit. It's going to be fun, isn't it, Larry?
Yes, it is.
You knew this was coming, Ron. I mean, you knew this was coming.
No comment.
Guys, so we got a lot to talk about, but a little bit earlier, I was able to catch up with Ben Teasdale and Adam Thurston, players of the Albuquerque Sol, and we had a nice conversation. Here's what they had to say. Ben Teasdale, Adam Thurston with me. Listen, maybe the season hasn't gone the way it's supposed to go, guys, but I'm going to start with you, Adam. I feel like you guys, and I say this a lot, but I feel like your guys' possession is there. I feel like you can build some attacks. Maybe it's not finishing really in the final third. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, like you say, I think we've been a little bit unfortunate in some of the results we've had. I think we've played some good stuff, like you say. We keep the ball well. Just, as you say, the last third where it matters, we just maybe panicking a little bit.
Ben?
Yeah, like I feel like we outpossess most of the teams we play, but yeah, we just can't seem to finish it. But hopefully it'll come this Saturday.
So one more game at home. It's pretty important maybe to finish off with a good win. It should be a nice crowd too on Saturday. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Should be a couple of thousand there, which will really get the boys going. Nice field. Yeah, hopefully we can put on a show for them.
Adam, pitch is a little bit different right over at UNM. I mean, St. Pius is a nice pitch, but it's thicker, maybe not good for dribbling, sticks to your foot a little bit more. Talk about it. But it's a bigger difference.
Yeah, you can see the other night the lads really popped it about, as we say. Really passed the ball around. You can get on it a lot easier. I thought the midfield did really well getting on the ball, and yeah, we were unlucky the other day to get beat, but hopefully going into this Saturday, I know the lads are really looking forward to it, and I'm sure we'll get a result.
Ben, talk about where you're playing right now outside of Albuquerque Sol.
Yeah, I play college in Montana, Rocky Mountain College. It's in Billings. We play NAA, but we got to the Elite 8 last year, so yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe won't understand too, especially in America, and I think that's one of the problems. We won't get into American soccer, but one of the problems is, I think, is NAIA Division II, Division III, Division I. They could all kind of compete at the same level. A lot of players maybe don't understand that originally going into college. Everyone says, oh, I need to go D1.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the system here in America makes it to where it's all pretty competitive, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We got a D2 school in Montana as well, like a rival college.
Yeah.
And they're quite a good D2 team, but we beat them the majority of the time. So.
And I think that might be one of the bigger problems in USA is because obviously from Division I down, there should be a difference in level of play, but I don't think there's much of a division.
Yeah, from what I've seen, there's not too much, no.
And then Adam, where are you playing right now outside of Albuquerque Sol?
Yeah, I play back home in England for FC United in Manchester. It's in the Conference North, so we're in the same league as Stockport County. Salford have just come into our league, so it's quite a good standard, it's quite competitive, and it's quite tough, to be honest. Yeah.
What do you think about your stay here in Albuquerque so far? Have you enjoyed it?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been really good. The soccer is a lot different. I think the lads are a lot more technical. They don't seem to go for big lads, whereas back home it's a lot more physical, and it's a lot different, really.
And so that's interesting to me, that it's more technical here than it would be back home, and it's more physical back there, because kind of America, we kind of pride ourselves on being more of a physical type, I guess, style, if you will. Maybe it's good, though, that it's changing to more technical. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, from what I've seen, yeah, you don't have to be big to play. Whereas back home, some managers will only choose big players.
Right.
So here, a lot of them like to get on the ball, good with their feet, and technical, really.
And Ben, what do you think technically here playing with the Soul? Has it been nice?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Like Matt wants us to like pass the ball, keep the ball. From, like Adam says, like coaches in England like they tend to like just say like boot the ball forward. Like it's a lot better here, I think.
Curious what you guys think. I mean, you guys both play. I mean, it's a barrage of nationalities, right? I mean, you've got a guy from Spain, from France, England, Ireland. I mean, it's a ton. Venezuela, and even some Americans. What do you guys think? I mean, what's your perception of American soccer as now you've gotten to play with a lot more Americans coming from England? I'll start with you, Adam.
Yeah, as you say, there's lads from all over the place, but not speaking about the soccer, we've all got on really well in the dorms, and there's a lot of foreigners, and everyone's just had to adapt to each other quickly, but I think it's worked well. And on the field, it's just soccer. We just get on with it. It's worked well. Everyone has their own differences and stuff, but I think we've clicked quite well.
Ben, what do you think as far as, I guess specifically Americans? Did you guys have a perception of, well, maybe America's way behind? Where did you think American soccer is to where you view it now?
Well, when I first came out here, I just heard that like they won't be as good technically, Americans, but they pride themselves on like fitness and stuff. And yeah, they're quite fit, but there's also a lot of like technical players. I didn't think that it'd be that high of a standard here, but it is.
Well, I mean, I think that's good, especially me as an American and us Americans. I think that's where we want to be. I think there's a perception maybe that it's not as good, and it's not. I mean, I think America has a long way up. Last question I'm going to ask you guys is, let's go to England. I mean, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in our show, but that's got to be frustrating, right? Where is England soccer? Is there a higher standard than what's actually, being produced in your international team, Adam?
Well, in England it was kind of like you just work your way up. Here, I think the collegiate system works really well. You have to go through college to get yourself into a first team, whereas back home it's just kind of you go through academies to get to the first team.
Yeah, England's just, I don't even like talking about it. Like, the players play well for their clubs week in, week out, and they come to England, and it doesn't matter who it is. It's the same old story. They can't play well for the country, they can play well for the club.
I appreciate you guys. Adam Thurston, Ben Teasdale, good luck on Saturday, fellas.
Thank you very much.
So this week with Soccer Talk with the Soul, this segment, Sun Power is presenting sponsor. I'm all tripped up here. You guys got me all confused.
That's all right.
Ron Patel, Larry Espinoza. Good to catch up with these guys from England. A lot of players from England on the team. Adam Thurston and Ben Teasdale. It's cool to see them play. We were talking at the beginning about how maybe the style of play the Soul are playing it good, but not really finishing in the final third, and that's what we're going to see in some of these highlights. Some of them, at least, right?
Yeah, it seems like we've just kind of lacked that killer instinct this year, and we have maintained possession of the ball. We've played well, we've played together, but it's just lacking that goal. And it seems to be in each game, or we hit a post, or we just don't have that chance.
So this week with the Soul, let's check out some of the highlights that we've gotten. We're going to start with OKC, who's a very fantastic organization. This was game one, and this was a couple of weeks ago, actually. Very technical side, OKC. Am I right here, Larry?
Yeah, they maintained their formation very well, and they try to put a lot of high pressure on the ball immediately to counter in their offensive third, and that's how we got caught.
And then a little individual skill here set it apart. A couple of cuts, a couple of stabs, wonderful finish, and it was 1-0. I mean, you got to appreciate some nice talent there.
Yeah, I think Josh Taylor is his name.
Yeah, Josh Taylor was big in both games, and Josh Taylor makes it 1-0 there. That proved to be the difference in that one, but what's great about it is you played a doubleheader against them, so you got a chance at revenge. And so let's fast forward to Father's Day Game 2. The Albuquerque Soul taking on OKC
Father's
Energy.
Day football.
Yes.
In Albuquerque that night.
Little rain delay too.
Little bit. I think that we got a 30-minute late start.
This was Sergio Rivas with a beautiful finish here.
Rivas comes on, and right away the energy that he provided, the talent you see from locally Cibola High School. It was then equalized, made it 1-1. so you're thinking, okay, well, great start by the Soul, but that's not what you want.
It was kind of a here we go again kind of thing.
Yes.
That we've gotten the lead and then we just give it up so easily. It was a nice goal to the far right corner there. Then we came back with Nick Mealy right here.
And this was served up actually by Sergio Rivas, and so Mealy gets his position. You're not going to miss from there inside the 6-yard box. That's something that
Got away with a little bit of a push from the defender,
you're supposed
I think.
to.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get yourself some position.
And then it was a here we go again with the penalty, and it was discouraging. I think, Larry, you might have been on the stream with Adam there. And then Luke came up to the penalty spot.
Both
after a
handballs, by the way.
Yep,
and I thought they were both right to be called. I know you weren't happy, Larry, with Camara's handball, but his arm was away from his body. It's just is what it is, you know.
Yep.
You're going to have to call it in the situation. I think if his arms were inside and maybe if it hits him and nobody's in the box, maybe it doesn't get called. But because it was kind of open like this, it's called. And then on the opposite end, a shot was taken and, you know, and it was blocked by the arm of an OKC player. And so Luke Lawrence got the winner there.
Yeah, it was a good comeback for us. That was a definite boost.
Against a really good team.
Yeah, OKC has probably been the best team we've played all year, and they maintain their positions well, and they play very well in the back. They're very organized, and they like to funnel everything up front. They've got some good forwards, so we did well to come back in that game. So.
Going over the last few weeks of what the Soul has done, it's brought to you by Sun Power, Adam Diehl again, along with Ron Patel and Larry Espinoza. And so those were the OKC games. So let's move along. And you guys have hosted a barrage of home games here, so it was a big stretch for you. And so taking on St. Louis FC, and this was this last Thursday. So things get a wonderful start for the Soul, just like you would. And this is kind of what
Great ball by
practices
Elliot
right
Frost
inside the 6-yard box. You mentioned Prost with the assist, the finish by Jack Clancy, and it's 1-0. It's a dream start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Fans were going great energy in the stadium. Started out really well.
It had to have been about 66 to 34% possession here in the first half, and it was also Soul had a ton of opportunities. Luke Lawrence, I thought, was slid potentially maybe a PK that should have been called. This was a really good finish from 30 out. There's not a lot you're going to do about that.
No, he should have never gotten the shot off.
The problem is there wasn't a lot of opportunities. I mean, that finish is classy, but there weren't a lot of opportunities for St. Louis. I think the 2 shots they had on goal were both goals. And, I mean, this was defended, I think, a little bit late by Moises Rodriguez, and the left footer goes inside post, and that's the game winner. And St. Louis, with 2 opportunities throughout the entire game, win it 2-1, and that's sometimes soccer, which is unfortunate because, Larry, you kind of thought that, the Soul, maybe because of substitutions, weren't able to be as aggressive as they needed to be in this one.
Yeah, we've been battling some injuries, so some guys haven't been able to play. We've got guys that are tired, and we broke down out of the back. Normally that's a very quick, counter and maintain position and force them to the outside, and we didn't. We didn't put enough
Even
pressure
if you
right
break down in the back, though, I mean, the fact that St. Louis only gets 2 opportunities and they score them both, I mean, 1, that's a little bit fortune for them, and 2, it's, I guess you didn't see the whole play of that last one, but it was off of a counterattack, and the Soul were building. Just, I think, very unfortunate. That's been, I think, the word I've used a lot this year, unfortunate for Albuquerque Soul.
That's football.
Is.
That's how it works.
It's the truth. We'll talk about them more with Iceland.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to take some shots, okay? I'm going to take them.
I love that, Adam.
I'm going to take them. Okay, one more. So this was at UNM Stadium. This is the Albuquerque Soul taking on FC Tucson, of course, the rivalry. And a quick start here for FC Tucson, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Jimmy kind of got caught there in the gray area, and he got chipped real quickly there.
And then coming out with a blaze in the second half, Snabeck comes up with a monster
Jimmy
save
had some
there.
great saves in this game.
You can see FC how good they were technically, and look at this. I mean, Snabeck so monster. A couple of chances for the Soul, and this could have brought it level, couldn't it have?
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, we hit 3 posts in the game, and what's kind of the summary of our season. Now, here's the second goal, where some would argue there was an offside player that affected the play there. but wasn't called, and the ball was put in the back of the net.
So 2-0 FC Tucson. You mentioned a couple of chances for the. I mean, come on, get in there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have 3 of those, you start to wonder, what did we do wrong?
Great save there by the Tucson keeper. And we had a great crowd out there too. We had about 11, there's another post right there. We had about 1,150 people out on Saturday night, which we were happy with. Another good save by the Tucson keeper.
It wasn't for lack of opportunity, let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah, and
It's
so
the story of our year, but we had a great crowd out there. We knew if we get a chance to play at UNM Soccer Stadium in a professional actual stadium with respect to St. Pius on the east side of town, we could draw fans. And that same night, I mean, there was tons of events.
there was a lot of events going on, which I think it's a pretty good draw based on what was out there, right?
Yep.
This Saturday should be big. Talk about it real quick.
Yeah, we're expecting to double that attendance, if not more. Last week we had baseball and basketball we were competing with across the street. So I think it's safe to say with the fireworks show after the game, the finale holiday weekend, we've got a lot of people that have pre-purchased tickets, which this is a town where people like to just walk up and buy tickets.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of people that have pre-purchased, companies that have bought for their employees. So it's going to be a fun night.
All right, so that'll be Saturday. It'll be at 7 o'clock, right?
7 o'clock kickoff, yes.
And we will also have it here for you on ProView Network. So here's a commercial that you guys developed for the Soul.